Berserk is a beautiful, grotesque, and visceral illustrated manga by Kentaro Miura. It tells the story of Guts and Griffith and their interesting dynamic as friends and later as enemies, and how they change as people. It's a story that fits the monomyth, the idea that every hero's journey is the same with only small changes in the details. The monomyth is most famously explained in the book The Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. In the book, he explains the monomyth's story structure and character archetypes. This is how Berserk fits the monomyth. Guts is the main character in Berserk. He's the archetypal hero as warrior. He's the best warrior in all the land and is renowned for his feats such as killing 100 men alone in a single night. Griffith is an interesting character as he starts out fitting the hero as leader archetype, but flips to being the main antagonist in the story, making him fit the archetype of the shadow. He is the sole reason that Guts struggles and the cause for the major problems in the story. Guts and Griffith's character dynamic is literally and figuratively black and white. Along with these two characters, there is a large supporting cast of characters. Far too many to list. Casca is the most important character other than Guts and Griffith. She's the love interest, the damsel in distress. She is quite literally useless in the majority of the story, although she was pretty badass at the beginning. There are lots of characters that fit the ally archetype. Most of them fit into other archetypes as well, as ally is a pretty broad term. There is Isidro, the young boy who follows Guts around to try to learn from him. He fits the trickster archetype quite well. He fights with tricks and is often used to add humor or lighten up the mood, along with Puck, the elf that kinda just follows Guts around. Then there is Shirka, the witch who best fits the guardian archetype, as she's the only thing stopping Guts from going insane when he dons the berserker armor. There's also Lady Farness. She's a good fit for the evil figure with a good heart archetype, as she was the former leader of the Holy Sea's Holy Iron Chain Knights, who were tasked with tracking down and capturing the Black Swordsman, Guts. Her sworn protector, Serpico, doesn't really trust Guts and would best fit the archetype of the Shapeshifter. He fits the Shapeshifter as he's only an ally as long as he thinks Guts isn't a threat to Farness. The last major ally is known simply as Skull Knight. All that's known about him is that him and Guts share a common enemy. He best fits the archetype of Mentor, as he teaches Guts how to survive in the new world after the eclipse. There are many things that could fit the creature of nightmare archetype in Berserk, such as the many monsters or the Apostles, although the Apostles would best fit the archetype of Threshold Guardians. The Apostles were once people who gave up what was most important to them in exchange for unbelievable power. Now they serve Griffith and the God Hand. The God Hand are the closest thing to gods in the world of Berserk that we know of. They are the incarnation of evil and are what grants the Apostles their ungodly powers. They best fit the archetype, the Devil figure. The monomyth story structure is fairly simple. The story starts off with an ordinary day, then we have some sort of call to adventure, after which the hero heads off into an unknown world by the crossing of the first threshold. As the hero approaches the final objective, they face the supreme ordeal. Afterwards, they take their prize and return to their ordinary world. Although the world they return to isn't quite the same as it was whenever they left. In Berserk, finding the call to adventure is kind of difficult. There are many points in Berserk that could serve as the call to adventure. Like when Guts is born, from his mother's corpse after she was hung and adopted by the camp whore of a group of mercenaries. Or whenever he joined the Band of the Hawk under Griffith. Or lastly, the eclipse could serve as his call to adventure, as the majority of the story happens after the eclipse. The eclipse was the event in which Griffith became a member of the God Hand. Griffith sacrificed the entire Band of the Hawk to the demons known as the God Hand in order to become one of them. The only two people to survive the eclipse were Guts and Casca, thanks to the help of Skull Knight. The eclipse would be the first threshold that Guts crosses. After the eclipse, Guts' world is drastically different than it was before. He is constantly hunted down by demons and monsters. There are many obstacles that exist to test the hero, and these make up the majority of the story of Berserk. The many monsters, demons, and people that stand in Guts' wake all serve as challenges for him to overcome. A few examples would be the many Apostles Guts has to fight, and finding a safe place for Casca as she isn't fit to fight, or be near fighting. Sadly, as the making of this video, the story of Berserk is unfinished. The Supreme Ordeal has yet to happen, however, we can't assume what it will be. The Supreme Ordeal will most likely be when Guts finally confronts Griffith. The prize Guts would receive would be the satisfaction of revenge, as well as being able to live a somewhat normal life without being hunted by demons. However, the world in Berserk will never be able to return to the way it was. During the events of Berserk, the supernatural or spiritual world and the physical world overlap and become one. Their world will truly never be the same. And that was how Berserk fits the Monomyth.